to prepare on when someone is going to die. Yes.
But we hear that there are such situations where there are some suspected rabid dogs biting somebody, and then they rush you to the hospital, and they say quite all right that the medication is quite expensive, and you are saying it's not curable. So those are just preventive measures.
Mr. Chomba, rabies is only preventable, but there is no medication so far which is known to cure rabies. So what happens is that when someone is bitten by a dog, between the first day to the 21st day, someone needs to be vaccinated to prevent him from having the disease. So once the disease manifests, even if you come to the hospital, yes, we're not going to chase people because they have come to the hospital. We're going to do the care and support so that someone dies with honor. It dies in an institution that is, of respect to that particular person. Instead of him just running up and down and he injures himself, then from there he ends up dying or throw himself somewhere where he's not supposed to throw himself. So usually we keep them so that they die in honor. Yes.
Okay. Now, moving on, let's look at, you've talked of the vaccination exercise, and definitely, obviously, there are times in a year where Council, together with the Ministry of Health, work together in terms of these vaccinations. Now, let's talk at the public health way to you, Mr. Tembo. What takes the council to come in and do the vaccination exercise?
Thank you so much, Mr. Jomba. Thank you so much, viewers. The issues of, as my colleague has put it, the issues of rabies is a very serious concern in terms of public health. It's a public health concern. Therefore, if there are rabies in a district, then it becomes a source of worry. Now, to control that, as my colleague has said, dogs are supposed to be vaccinated. Okay, so what is the role of the council? The role of the council is to make sure that all dogs in the district are registered. Now, we should note that for a dog to be registered, there are prerequisites. Okay, and in this case, the prerequisites, as guided by the Control of Dogs Act, Cap 247 of the laws of Zambia. Each dog that is to be registered is supposed to be vaccinated. Vaccination in this case, of course, there are several vaccinations that are done to a dog, but in this case, we are interested in the vaccination against the rabies, so that once the vaccination has been administered, it will elicit what we call the antibodies. In other words, in a layman's language, you say, it will prepare the soldiers in the body of a dog against the rabies, so that if peradventure it bites someone after being vaccinated, you know that within the dog itself, it has the anti-rabies, therefore it won't be able to transmit the rabies to a human being. Because as my colleague has said, indeed rabies is zoonotic in nature. So the role of the council is that the dogs are supposed to be registered. Okay? The dogs are supposed to be registered, and prior to registration, this dog is supposed to be vaccinated.
Now, when you talk of registration of dogs in the districts, obviously, as the council, you've been working on this. Now, what does it take? Do you first sensitize people before you tell them on the vaccination when you talk of registering the dogs?
Thank you so much, Mr. John. This is one way of sensitizing the public to say they should have their dogs registered. It should be noted that dog registration exercise is an ongoing exercise, and it goes throughout the year. Okay? At any point, the council does register the dog. As long as it's a working day, the council does register the dog. And as I said earlier, the requirement for a dog to be registered is that it's supposed to be vaccinated The question may be, where are you going to get the vaccination of the dog? Are you going to get it to the government facility? Or when we hear there is under 5 doing vaccination, are we supposed to go there? Certainly no. It should be noted that the vaccination activity is done at private clinics, the veterinary private clinics. Okay? It is a known fact that the services for veterinary, for clinical services are done at private facilities. So for Mazabuka, we have basically Supreme Vet, which does the vaccination of the dogs. And also there's another vet by where Ratsa is. It also does the vaccination of the dog. So you take your dog there, it will be vaccinated. Then after being vaccinated, you make a payment for registration. Then the registration will be done. Currently, for convenience purposes, we have allowed, it was resolved by the council that the registration be done near the showgrounds where Supreme Veterinary Services are. It's just for convenience purposes of the Mazabuka residents. Because previously you would hear when people are to register the dog, they will have to get their dog all the way up to the civic center. They move along with the dog. Sometimes may charge or bite someone, which will be risky. So the services have been decentralized. Where the vaccinations have done, then we have also created a desk for the council to have that a dog ready.
When it comes to vaccination of the dogs,
how recommendable are those facilities? I would say that they have qualified staffs in the first place, and they have registered, veterinary officers, and I'm sure even their institutions are also registered. So they are, I think they are of use in the prevention of rabies. You know that we have very few institutions that are looking at animal health. For instance, in Mazabuka, we only have ZIA that looks at animal health, and I'm sure now they are doing the teaching the the doctors who are managing our animals. So I think as long as they are administering the potent vaccines to the animal, who is a dog in this matter, and that dog is also gaining the immunity against rabies, so it's an established institution. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. And now moving on, we look at the number of dogs. Obviously, the council is in line to give us the number of dogs so far. I don't know if you take it as in quarters or maybe yearly. Maybe you can give us the number so that we know of how many people are aware of vaccination and also registration of the dogs in the district.
Okay, so in Mazabuka district, it is estimated that there are about 2,000 dogs, approximation. Of these 2,000 dogs, as of December last year, only 914 dogs were registered by the council. Okay? So already there is still a shortage there's still a difference in terms of dogs that have been registered and dogs that are not registered. It should be noted that more often, the public will prefer to just have the dog vaccinated, then they go. Okay, but I have to encourage viewers that the dogs, apart from having them vaccinated, they're supposed to be registered. That is as required by law.
There are too many stray dogs in communities, especially in Mazabuka. Two men stray dogs, and what has the council done in terms of trying also to cushion dog bites, especially to reduce cases of rabies in the district?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chomba. The council has been taking a lot of proactive measures in order to stop the spread of rabies. vis-a-vis control of dogs. One of the measures that have been done is like we are doing right now. We are sensitizing the public that let them bring the dogs for registration. As I've indicated earlier, the prerequisite is that these dogs should be vaccinated. So we are encouraging people. One of the measures that we are encouraging dog owners to have their dogs vaccinated and registered. If the dog is not registered or is not vaccinated, or is a stray dog as it is commonly called, then that dog is killed. As of last year in June, we killed about 94 dogs within the district. Okay? These are dogs which were not vaccinated, or they are called stray dogs. They are dogs which are not vaccinated. Some could have been vaccinated, but they were stray. It should be noted further, Mr. Jomba, that the law has provided that dog owners should let loose the dogs at the right time. Okay? That is, the dog should be let loose after after 18 hours. When it's dark, then the dogs can be let loose so that they do their job. Okay? Then, by 8 hours, these dogs should be tied. So at a point when we are killing or we are doing a tie-up order, if a dog is found loitering, even if it's vaccinated, if it's loitering, then it's considered as a stray dog. Therefore, it is being killed. So we encourage dog owners that, apart from having the dog vaccinated, registered, let the dogs, during the time of being confined, let them be in their kennel, being confined.
Most of the people take the law into their own hands. Should people in the communities, when they see there is a stray or a loitering dog after 8, should they take the law into their own hands, or they need to contact council?
There are times when we are having operations like when we talk of a tie-up order. Once the tie-up order is enforced, whichever dog we find loitering is being killed. Should they report to the council? Yes, you can report to the council any stray dogs. Oh, okay, we have seen dogs in this side. Certainly there should be a measure that should be taken in order to stop those stray dogs from spreading.
Thank you so much. Now, moving on in the program, in case you are just joining us, this is the Holistic Health Program that comes every Tuesday in the afternoon. And today we are discussing rabies control in Mazabuka. In the studio, I happen to have Mr. Tembo Moyowata, who is a grazing manager at Mazabuka Municipal Council, and Mr. Fortune Wenje, a public health officer. Now, moving on, let's look at Mr. Wenje. How long does it take for symptoms to actually appear in somebody who has been actually maybe bitten by a dog that is suspected to have rabies?
Yeah, symptoms in human beings, it differs with a lot of factors. The site where someone has been bitten, and also the amount of viruses that were inoculated in a human being. It ranges from 1 month to 3 months. But it can go even as far as 1 year, where everyone has even forgotten that this person was bitten by a dog, and they end up manifesting the signs and symptoms of rabies. So there is a very big variation to some people. Even 2 weeks is enough for someone to start showing the signs and symptoms of rabies. So the incubation period is quite long for rabies in some individuals, while in other individuals it's too short.
So what are those symptoms that one should not doubt that these are signs of symptoms of rabies in a human being?
Yeah, the most prominent signs or symptom of rabies is that people tend to run away from water. You give someone water, they run away from the water. People tend to become...
When you talk of water,
the same water to bath, water to drink, Yes, they tend to have hydrophobic towards the water. So when you start pouring water there, he has an edge to drink water, but you give someone water, he runs away from the water. So another thing is that people become like they are psychotic. They cannot see where they are. The orientation of a human being becomes disturbed. It's like now they have become a mad person. They can't be in one place. They move from one point to the other. Some they start barking like a dog. Some they show symptoms that are almost like similar to malaria. You have high temperature. All those signs and symptoms are prominent. But the running away from the water is very common in rabies.
Like in Mazaboka, obviously there are cases of such. Has Mazaboka recorded any case of maybe one showing such symptoms?
I would say that Mazaboka is a risky district in terms of rabies. We have had sporadic suspected cases of rabies. I'll call them suspected because up to until now, the diagnosis for rabies is quite difficult. And the way you diagnose rabies also, it may not be ethical to remove part of your brain and also we test if you are rabies or not. It may not be ethical. You can easily know that a dog is rabid if you killed it and you also examine the brain. Then you're going to see that, okay, the viruses are there for rabies. But for human beings, we depend on the history of a dog bite, a history of animal bite, or if I'm rabid today, I bite one of you here, you can still be rabid because the virus tends to be so much in my saliva. Yes.
Like let's talk of most people, like let's talk of Mazaboka, to be specific. We hear issues where there are dog bites, somebody has been bitten by a dog, and they don't prefer to use their own medication. They don't want to go to the hospital. What repercussions are there, especially in rural areas where there are too many dogs and the people don't take care of them? And we hear of dog bites here and there, cases of being assumed.
Yeah, like my colleague has indicated, dogs are supposed to be kept in a yard, not on the road, because the road is a public place. So when we talk of the mushrooming, dog bites, mushrooming or sporadic cases of rabies here and there, and even the rural areas, people need to know that whenever you are bitten by a dog, the remedy is for you to be vaccinated. The first aid that you can do is to ensure that you rinse the area where you have been bitten by a dog. Clean it with running water as much as possible. Then also ensure that you go to the nearest health facility to receive the antidote, which is the anti-rabies. However, anti-rabies is very expensive for human beings. When you compare the cost of vaccinating a dog and that of vaccinating a human being requires 5 shots, 5 injections for you to be fully immunized. Now, one injection costs around 300 pounds, depending on how the pharmacy is at that particular time. If we see now 3 kwacha times 5, we are talking about 1,500 or around that. There are very few people that can easily produce that amount of money. And you know that when my dog has bitten someone, it's my responsibility to buy the anti-rabies. Yes.
What does the law say on that, Mr. Tembo?
Which aspects are interest in terms of dog control? Okay. As my colleague has said, it's the responsibility of the owners of the dog to have them vaccinated. Therefore, if your dog has bitten someone, you take full responsibility of all costs that surround the vaccination or the treatment or procuring of the vaccine for that particular person. Sure.
So if there is no that collaboration between the victim and the owner of the dog, what happens? Where should they go and report such cases, especially the victim?
The victim who has been bitten by the dog can either go to the police and the veterinary officers. Okay? At the police, they will need to get a report. Then they proceed and go to the veterinary officers, who will ask them to bring the dog together with any documentation that particular dog has. Let me hasten to mention that most instances, dog owners, and it's a common practice unfortunately in Africa, one dog they would want to circulate, if my dog is vaccinated, I would want to use the vaccination certificate for another dog, which is a very bad practice and should be stopped. Actually, once that is done, it's an offense, and let me say, it's an offense. And the person who has been found to do such a thing, the penalty is they're supposed to pay about 3,000 penalties, or if successfully prosecuted, can still go to jail for 1 year, just because of these small matters which you can avoid at all costs.
Right, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with our program.
My name is Elisha, E-L-I-S-H. Elisha, that's how I sign. I'm going to tell you 5 golden rules. Number 1, mask up. Number 2, wash your hands. Number 3, social distance. Number 4, don't greet your friends in hands. Number 5, go to the hospital when you're not feeling well. Thank you.
Attention to all Mazabuka parents and schools. Abivist Gardens presents the first ever Abivist Gardens Spelling Bee. That's right. Does your child or pupil have what it takes to become the spelling champions of the town? Visit Abivist Gardens located in KLB for registrations. Competing ages: Group A, 6 to 10 years old. Participation fee is only 50 kwacha. Group B, 11 to 15 years old. Participation fee is only 100 kwacha. Amazing prizes to be won by our spelling champions. For more details, contact +260 7728 32885 or +260 976 609467. Abivist Gardens, your events paradise, promoting the development of bright minds.
My name is Elisha, E-L-I-S-H. Elisha, that's how I sign. I'm going to tell you 5 golden rules. Number 1, mask up. Number 2, wash your hands. Number 3, social distance. Number 4, don't greet your friends in hands. Number 5, go to the hospital when you're not feeling well. Thank you.
Attention to all Mazabuka parents and schools. Abivist Gardens presents the first ever Abivist Gardens Spelling Bee. That's right. Does your child or pupil have what it takes to become the spelling champions of the town? Visit Abivist Gardens located in KLB for registrations. Competing ages: Group A, 6 to 10 years old. Participation fee is only 50 kwacha. Group B, 11 to 15 years old. Participation fee is only 100 kwacha. Amazing prizes to be won by our spelling champions. For more details, contact +260 7728 32885 or +260 976 609467. Abivist Gardens, your events paradise, promoting the development of bright minds.
Thank you so much and welcome back. You are still watching Holistic Health program. This is Musanza TV and I'm a host, Vanson Zomba. Together in the studio, I have Mr. Tembo Moyowata and Mr. Fortune Wanje, Public Health Officers, and Mr. Tembo happens to be the prison manager at Mazabuka Municipal Council. We've talked a lot of issues with rabies control in Mazabuka district. And just been talking about the dogs and how people should keep their dogs in their homes. Now, what does the law say when it comes to numbers of dogs one should keep? Mr. Tembo.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jomba. Thank you so much, viewers. It should be noted that the law is very clear on how many dogs a person should have. So per law, a person should have 2 dogs. Any person that owns dogs should have 2 dogs. Except in circumstances where you feel you can have more than 2 dogs. By virtue of the things you have bought some good property. In such case, the law is not backward. it has provided that you write to the town clerk of the authority. In smaller towns, you write to the council secretary. So in the case of Madagascar, you write to the town clerk, stating the reason why you want to put more than 2 dogs. Okay? Then an assessment will be done to find out whether what you are putting across is justifiable for you to have more than 2 dogs. But the law, you are supposed to have 2 dogs. And these dogs are listed to be vaccinated and also breeding.
It's not the mandate of the municipality to go around, check home and to see how many dogs one is keeping.
Actually, as I said, Mr. Jonah, when we are enforcing the entire order, we will check how many dogs you have, how many dogs you have registered, and how many dogs are vaccinated. So if you have more than 2 dogs, and you did get permission to keep more than 2 dogs, then the rest of the dogs will be eliminated and just remaining the 2 dogs that are.
Now let's look at one issue. If a dog shows signs of rabies, what do you do?
Okay, if a dog shows some signs of rabies, okay, this dog, even the owner can eliminate that dog. But what should do immediately you see that, oh, okay, my dog just starts barking anyhow, those are typical signs of rabies in a dog. You should be able to report to the veterinary officer, or still you can still come through the council to our public relations office and say, oh, okay, I've got a dog that looks okay. And that dog will be held. Okay? So once a dog has been killed, the law has also provided clearly on how the procedures to be followed in order for that that carcass or the dog, dead dog, how it should be treated. So in that case, a dog that has been killed. Okay, we have to burn that dog. Apart from burning, the ashes you have to dig and bury it. That's what happens. So even when you are doing the genotype, once those dead dogs are killed, they are also burned to make sure that those dogs are burned.
And like to human beings, one is showing symptoms, how should that person be kept away from members of the family? Because now we are obviously, so you can come in number one.
Yeah, for human beings, I would say that human beings, there is no law that will tell you that when you are too sick, then you need medication. That one does not exist for human beings. If we allow the course of nature to take its own course, and perhaps we also believe that there is a supernatural power that can turn the possible into so once someone is infected with rabies, someone becomes like, they cannot stay in one place. They cannot control themselves to be in one place. They can still be injured. And that injury also infects. So how do we treat them? Ensure that they are confined and they are not a risk to the public. A risk to the public, it can be their own relatives. They can still infect them if they bite them. So we ensure that we secure them with some drug that can make them to be in one place. So I don't get tired of running up and down until such a time when they die. They need to be kept well, with honor, so that they die properly.
Now, let's look at, do we have a peak time like for rabies? Especially, or maybe you can explain, because they have talked of Magabuka being one of the risk areas. Do you have a peak time for rabies?
Not really that we have a peak time for rabies, just time for rabies. And the reason is that we have got so many dogs that are not confined. Even if a dog is vaccinated, it's still to be confined. It is moved from one place to the other. Along the way, it will lead to a jackal, which is majority of the dogs, they are on the street. So it means the owners, they can't feed them, they are chancing food, so they are fighting for anything that they can find. So that makes the population to be at risk because of this.
We see loose hands now, according to you, Mr. Tembo. When Mr. Wendy is talking of 90% of the dogs are not secured in the book, is the council doing anything? Because that's big percentage. Going to percentages, looking at Magaboka, there's a growing population.
Well, my colleague that was mentioned 90%. I won't agree on all this thing. However, the point is that we are encouraging dog owners to have their dogs vaccinated, registered, and confined. Very soon and so soon, like we did last year, all dogs which were not confined, they are considered stray dogs. As long as even if it's registered, even if it's vaccinated, if it's not confined, then it's stray. And those are good for the let me take advantage to also inform the public that when the tag order is on, it's quite a pity. You know that your dog is not vaccinated or it's not registered. You want to hide it in the bedroom. And a dog is a dog. At the time when you are coming to jail, it will be barking from the bedroom, unfortunately. So in that case, let's not go to the extent where we would want to confine a dog because they look like that. Let's take this as a practice. A dog is known to be an animal which is a best friend to man. Okay? So let's take care of this dog so that it's not considered as a stray dog. Once a dog is a stray, it will be eliminated. And so soon the chance of it is going down, going on the ground to eliminate all stray dogs. Then I may have also taken advantage of it. If you don't have the capacity to own a dog, I think it's just imperative that you surrender to those that do, other than letting the dog do it, because you want to be considered as a stray dog, and it's a risk factor in terms of what you're talking about, in terms of people biting people, which should be avoided.
Exactly. Mr. Wendy, we have come to the end of the program. And before we say
in an event where we are bitten by a non-dog or a non-dog, making sure that we report the matter to the authority and we do the vaccination. We may think it's a small wound, but with time it will cause part of life. I think maybe one of the reasons people are calling neglect the topic of the disease. People don't talk about it, but if it is translating to the family and also to the community. So let's care for our dogs, let's ensure that we get vaccinated in case we are bitten by the dog.
your last remarks, Mr. Mewata.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bamba. Let me urge dear viewers that all of us, not only dogs, let's take the responsibility. And the responsibility we're talking about is to have the dog vaccinated, registered with the local authority, and have it confined. Once we do these things, then we are assured of the safe manner. We are assured that even when the children are going to school, for example, they want to be given. And whoever is moving around they won't be beaten. And the chances of spreading the suspected rabies cases are going to be better. So let's take responsibility to take care of our dogs. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to our viewers. We really appreciate your consideration, and this has been your holistic health program that comes every Tuesday afternoon. And in the studios today, you have Mr. Tembo Mwewata, who happens to be the prison manager from Mazabuka Municipal Council, and also Mr. Fortune Wenje, the public health officer. We were discussing rabies control in Mazabuka district. Those who have been following us on our Facebook page, Musanza TV, thank you so much. Your comments are valued. And those who have been following on our YouTube page, thank you so much for your consideration. Till next Tuesday, this has been your host, Vanson Zomba. And I'm saying keep on watching Musanza TV, and bye-bye.
Attention to all Mazabuka parents and schools. Abivist Gardens presents the first ever Abivist Gardens Spelling Bee. That's right. Does your child or pupil have what it takes to become the spelling champions of the town? Visit Abivist Gardens located in KLB for registrations. Competing ages: Group A, 6 to 10 years old. Participation fee is only 50 kwacha. Group B, 11 to 15 years old. Participation fee is only 100 kwacha. Amazing prizes to be won by our spelling champions. For more details, contact +260 7728 32885 or +260 976 609467. Abivist Gardens, your events paradise, promoting the development of bright minds.